Mad when I do this, but Mike's 60, man. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? Who gives a shit what I think? It's not.
Mike Tyson just drops a bombshell after Dana White slaps a harsh reality check on him, proving he was right all along. Let me tell you, if Tyson had left boxing at his prime, he would have been remembered as one of the greatest ever, an icon for the ages. He could have made history for being exceptional, but nope, he chose to gamble on his fading career, trying to relive the glory days when he was in his absolute worst condition.
But he basically said, I told him, Mike, you're basically 60 years old. And he's like, you honestly think this fucking kid's gonna do anything to me? He's not good. He's not gonna fucking knock me out. He's not gonna do this. And you saw him, he tripped when he was walking down the thing. He had a hard time walking up the stairs. He had a knee brace on. And Jake Paul couldn't do anything.
Dana White warned him to use his brain, but Tyson didn't listen. He honestly thought he could still knock people out in 91 seconds like he used to. Yeah, that was the Mike we all feared, but now he's just ruined his legacy. Tyson made the choice to fight again, and he destroyed his own future with his own hands. All he's left with now is nothing but regret.
Tyson shows up, everybody makes money, you know? Jake Paul is... You know, I don't have to tell you guys. You guys know. Mike Tyson is the A+++ side of that.
Mike Tyson, man. Where do I even start? He's living in some delusional bubble where he still thinks he's the baddest man on the planet. Mike, you're 58 years old. The only thing you knocked out now was your own credibility after a scripted fight.
Put together a training camp and come in and, you know, I don't like to see guys fighting it. He had a 31-year age difference during that fight. You guys know what I think.
Mike Tyson, once the baddest man on the planet, is now a far cry from his glory days. His recent attempt to stay relevant, including a so-called exhibition fight against Jake Paul, has raised eyebrows for all the wrong reasons. At 58 years old, Tyson found himself in a ring with Jake Paul, a 27-year-old YouTube star turned boxer. The result? A spectacle that was more of an accident waiting to happen than a real fight. This was supposed to be a friendly exhibition, a nostalgic nod to Tyson's past dominance. Instead, it became a sad reminder of why he should have stayed retired. Jake Paul, though far from a seasoned fighter, was quicker and sharper. Tyson, on the other hand, looked out of shape, carrying not only extra physical weight, but also the mental burden of trying to prove he still got it. Dana White, the UFC president, reportedly begged Tyson to reconsider stepping into the ring.
I mean, if you didn't think that that's the way the fight, I don't know what people expected. You know, Mike's almost 60 years old. He's Mike Tyson, but he's 60 years old. You guys know the whole story about Shark Week, and, you know, if you don't, I begged him not to do the Roy Jones fight. You're too old. I love you. I don't want to see you take any more.
Mike, please. You're old, just chill, were likely his thoughts, as Tyson hobbled his way through the fight, unable to land a decent punch or even move with the fluidity that once made him a terror in the ring. Tyson's performance wasn't just disappointing, it was embarrassing. The man who once made opponents tremble with a single stare now looked like a shadow of his former self. His sluggish movements and lack of coordination painted a grim picture of a once great champion who couldn't keep up. Even after the fight, Tyson clung to the delusion that he could have taken Jake Paul down if he really wanted to. Really, Mike? Let's not kid ourselves, critics remarked. The reality is clear. Tyson couldn't even muster the basics in this bout. The same fighter who once instilled fear in the hearts of every heavyweight now struggles to reclaim even a fragment of that aura. Adding to the absurdity, Tyson has been sharing stories of blood transfusions and bizarre health routines, likening himself to a superhero. But here's the truth. He's not Iron Man. He's a 58-year-old man whose body is no longer up to the task. What's left of Tyson's legacy is no longer tied to his prowess in the ring. Instead, he's become a brand, a nostalgic symbol of boxing's golden era. But even that brand is losing its luster. From strange public outbursts to the infamous Shark Week incident, where he reportedly threatened people on a boat for asking him to go shark diving, Tyson's tough guy persona has dissolved into caricature. Once, Tyson could silence a room with his presence. Today, he walks in, and people wonder how much longer he'll cling to these hollow attempts at staying relevant. Tyson's fight with Jake Paul was nothing more than a money-making spectacle. Dana White, always blunt, called it a con job, and he wasn't wrong. Tyson wasn't in the ring for glory. He was there for the paycheck, and it showed. His performance lacked heart, focus, and determination. In the aftermath, Tyson reportedly received a $700 million offer from a Saudi billionaire for a rematch against Jake Paul. It's an astronomical sum, far more than he ever made in his prime, including the $30 million he earned for his iconic 1999 bout against Lennox Lewis. Yet Tyson declined, claiming he didn't want to tarnish his legacy further. The irony is hard to ignore. What legacy is Tyson so desperate to protect? The brutal reality is that his legacy has already taken a significant hit. He's no longer the feared champion who dominated the heavyweight division. Instead, he's a relic of a bygone era, occasionally making headlines for questionable decisions and bizarre antics. By turning down the $700 million offer, Tyson may have avoided another public humiliation, but he also missed an opportunity to bow out on his own terms. Instead, he leaves fans with the memory of a fighter who overstayed his welcome in the spotlight. Meanwhile, Jake Paul is laughing all the way to the bank. His boxing career, built on viral moments and social media hype, has been a financial goldmine. In 2023 alone, Paul reportedly earned $45 million from these spectacle fights and his online ventures. For Paul, the fight against Tyson wasn't about proving himself as a boxer. It was about creating a media frenzy and cashing in. Paul's strategy worked. He milked the drama and hype, turning the fight into a must-watch event. Tyson, on the other hand, seemed out of place, distracted, and unprepared. The contrast between the two was stark. One was a young entrepreneur capitalizing on his moment, while the other was an aging legend struggling to keep up. Tyson's refusal to take the rematch against Paul might have been a smart move in some ways. It spared him further embarrassment and avoided another blow to his already diminished reputation. However, it also solidified the narrative that Tyson is no longer the fearsome competitor he once was. In his prime, Tyson was a force of nature, a fighter who dominated the sport and became a global icon. Today, he's a man clinging to the remnants of that past, unwilling to accept that his time has passed. Mike Tyson's journey from boxing royalty to a washed-up legend is a cautionary tale about the dangers of staying in the spotlight for too long. His fight with Jake Paul, the $700 million offer he turned down, and his erratic behavior all point to a man struggling to reconcile with his present reality. While Tyson's legacy as a boxing icon will never be erased, his recent actions have left fans with a bittersweet taste. Instead of remembering the unstoppable champion, many now see a man who couldn't let go. In the end, the saddest part of Tyson's story isn't that he lost to Jake Paul, it's that he lost himself.